So today we are just trying to define all we can about circles. So the actual definition of a circle comes to us here, and the circle is a set of all points in a plane, a given that same distance from the center point. Okay, so given distance from that center point. Okay, so this one, the center is going to be B, right? And that's how we're going to name the circle. So we name the circle by its center. So sometimes we'll even abbreviate it with a little dot like that and capital B for the point. Okay, and so the given distance is also known as a radius. Okay, hopefully that word is somewhat familiar. And so the radius would be that red distance, which is now orange, right there. So we would call that something like 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 10 miles, whatever the situation is. Some other situations that happen in a circle are uh, lines or segments not at the center point. So our first situation of that is called a chord. So something like this, just connecting two random dots that don't necessarily go through the center. So it's a line segment whose endpoints lie on the circle. And again, it would be any two segments. So like that is a red chord. This purple chord is like that. The diameter is also a chord technically. It just connects 2 points on the circle. And again, we usually use capital letters to denote points. So like AB would be a chord, as well as something like CD would also be a chord. So radius, talked about that a little bit up there. It's starting at the center and it ends specifically on the circle. So again, that radius starts at the center and ends on the circle. So again, if B or whatever is my middle, B to E, that would be the radius. Something like that. Diameter, similar to the radius, it's just 2 of them put together in a straight line. So diameter starting out from the center, and we're making sure we go perfectly through it. It's a combination of a radius and a chord because it's a chord since it goes connecting 2 endpoints, but it's a combination of 2 radii because they both would go to the center. So a diameter is a chord that goes through the center. Okay, something like that. A tangent line. So we talked about this a little bit in the Desmos activity. It only hits that circle at one specific place. So if I have a tangent line right there, that would mean that I'm only hitting that circle at that purple line. Okay, so notice these were all segments up here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, those were all segments up there because they didn't have arrows on them. So a tangent line actually has arrows because it's an actual line, not a segment. Okay, so a tangent line intersects exactly 1 point on that circle, and it's called that point of tangency. Secant is this is where it gets maybe a little bit confusing because when I draw this, every year people want to just call it a chord, and I think that you're on the right track, but we call it a secant line because it's an actual line. Remember, the chord was only a segment up here, not an actual line with arrows on the end. So it's a secant line that goes through the circle. Okay. Hopefully that's making some sense. We'll get into more information here about angles and areas in the coming days.